Okay, so I have got Flight Sim 2024 up, and I am running an i9-12900k processor along with a 2080 Ti, which is not the best spec to run this. And I've been running stuff in VR, and I wanted to run through some settings that I found out actually allow me to run the sim at decent frame rates. So if I go in here and under general, I'll go through the general 2D settings first. So I've got full screen. I'm on a 4K monitor, which is a Samsung. It's about 2018 model. I've got 60 hertz. I ended up putting a DisplayPort cable in because this monitor has only 30 hertz on HDMI 1, 60 hertz on HDMI 2, and then 60 hertz on DisplayPort. So I have my Mac Mini M1 on HDMI 2 for my editing work, and I have the Flight Sim rig now on the on the DisplayPort settings, and it was a 10-foot HDMI. It was a 10-foot DisplayPort cable, and I couldn't get the signal to come up. And I was like, "Is this a bad cable? Is it too long?" And what I discovered was, after doing a bit of research online, I needed to unplug my monitor for about 30 seconds and then plug it back in, and then it would detect the DisplayPort on the computer. So it's all up and running. It's on DisplayPort now. So in 2D mode, these are the settings that I've got that are giving me good frame rates at the moment. So I've got DLSS, super resolution. I have balanced for 2D because that gives the best image quality for performance. Fidelity sharpening 100%, VSync is on, low latency is on, and frame rate limit, I've got 50% of the monitor refresh rate. And what that does is, because it's 60 hertz, which is basically 59.98, I think it is. Technically, it's running at 29.97, but I set the monitor refresh rate to 30 frames per second, basically drop frame timecode. And then I've got dynamic settings turned on, and I've got the target frame rate set to 30, which is about half of my monitor refresh rate. So that's going to give me the best performance. So the dynamic settings are cool. And in global rendering quality, there's certain things I won't compromise on. So I've got terrain level of detail 100, off-screen terrain pre-caching ultra, displacement mapping is on, so that's basically bump mapping for the ground surfaces. Buildings I've got on ultra, trees ultra, plants ultra, rocks ultra, grass ultra. Because I've got a 2080 Ti, it's got 11 gig of VRAM, so these are actually pretty good with that. Object level of detail 100%. Again, I won't compromise on that. Volumetric clouds ultra, texture resolution ultra, anisotropic filtering 16 times, water waves high. These seem like these are different settings, but I'm not 100% sure. I may have accidentally bumped something. Ray trace shadows is off. That is going to take a huge performance hit. Shadow maps 1536. I can probably drop that down to 1024. Shadow maps 512, contact shadows medium, windshield effects high, ambient occlusion high, cube map reflections 256, ray mask reflections high, light shafts high, depth of field off, motion blur off. I don't like them. I can do them in post. You know, it's in real life we don't have that type of depth of field and stuff, and I want to look at what I want to look at and stuff. So I turn that off. Motion blur off. Even though I come from the film world, I do like motion blur, but not within the sim. Glass cockpit refresh rate. I can't speak it tonight. My tongue's getting all twisted. Set that to medium. Characters quality high. Airport traffic quality. Now I've turned these off. Airport traffic, that's basically parked aircraft at the airport. Air traffic I've got turned off because that does take a frame rate hit. Road traffic off. Sea traffic I've got on ultra and fauna, and that's on the 2D settings. Now, for VR, I discovered something really cool. I was able to get 45 frames per second, rock solid, super smooth, and really workable within the sim. And I'm running, go across here. So I'm going to open up PyTool, and I've got my settings here. So where is it? Here's this headset. So device settings, I've got 9-axis. I don't have the lighthouse set. I'm in film studio at the moment. I haven't even tried that yet. Recline mode is off. Light bar, I've got off. Refresh rate 90 hertz. Simply because you can't get the wide field of view higher than that. Brightness and stuff all set. Those don't really make a whole lot of difference. But the game, I've got a large field of view because I want as wide as I can be, and with the basic setup, you get 140.3 degrees field of view. You could get higher, up to about 160, but that requires parallel projection. But parallel projection causes frame rate issues and is a performance hit. I've got render quality set to high. I've got these two off, the quad views. Those don't really seem to make a difference. Preference. Haven't really tried these lately. They're off at the moment. I'm getting good performance, and these don't seem to be checked. I've got parallel projection compatibility mode turned off. Smart smoothing is off. Lock to half frame rate, already doing that in the sim. Hidden area mask, the black around the mask is important. That way you're not having to render stuff that you're not actually seeing in the headset. And Vive compatibility turned off. And then general, I'm using Pimax OpenXR as OpenXR runtime. I found that the Pimax one gives me worse frame rates. So it may be more stable, but it gives me worse frame rates. And then headset as default audio output device. Yep. And then home I've got turned off because I don't like seeing the home because it gets in the way. So those are my Pimax settings. And then let me go into the sim. With the VR graphics, I've got anti-aliasing as DLSS super resolution. I got it set for performance. I did have balance, but I lose about 4 or 5 frames per second off of that. Don't really want that. And it's like, I would love to have it on balanced or quality, but the frame rate hits just too high with this video card. Again, AMD Fidelity Effects Sharpening 100%. Reprojection mode is off. Performance killer. World scale 100%. Reflex low latency is on. Dynamic settings is turned on. And for some reason in the latest beta, that's not letting me set frame rates, which is fine. It's fine. So, oh, and I just went to close it and then it showed up as 45. So the thing here is half of the refresh rate of the headset, which is 90 hertz, is 45 frames a second. So that's what I want over there. I could lower it to 30. That may make it take less of a hit on the GPU. But 45 really is nice to fly in. Global rendering quality. Again, this is some bugs here in stuff. So let's see, it comes up undefined for the frame rate. That's really weird. Off-screen terrain pre-caching, medium. Displacement mapping, I turned back on yesterday. Buildings low, trees low, plants low, rocks and grass. These seem to be more to do with radius around it, because the trees all, and that, like the buildings, they have like stuff on the rooftops and stuff like air conditioning units and stuff like that. But if you're flying primarily, you're not really going to get much of a hit in terms of visual loss. I mean, you're flying the plane. So these are all good to be on low. Object level of detail, again, 100. I don't want to compromise on that. Volumetric clouds, I've actually got it at 100%. I haven't fully tested this, but I like the look of the clouds. I think ultra is overkill, but high is quite good. I could probably get away with medium. Texture resolution, I've got high. Anisotropic filtering 16 times. Water wave, I've got as medium. ray traced shadows turned off. I turned down shadow maps from 1536 to 1024 yesterday. Again, I'm not really looking at the shadows and pixel peeping. Terrain shadows 512, which I believe is maximum. No, 512. They're decent. Contact shadows low. Windshield effects medium. Ambient occlusion low. Cube map reflections 256. Ray marched low. Light shafts low. Glass cockpit refresh rate low. I'm flying Piper Tomahawk basically, which is the aircraft I learned to fly in. Characters quality low. I'm kind of flying solo in the cockpit, so I don't really need that. And I have not really noticed any visual difference with stuff. Traffic airport quality off. Air traffic off. Road traffic, sea traffic, and fauna. I turned them all off because I'm flying in VR, and I'm really primarily concerned about frame rates for VR. So, there's that. So I'm going free flight, and I'm going to go switch back over to Tango Lima Alpha. I discovered in the 747 I was having frame rate issues when I landed, so I'm going to go over to the way TLA looked when I learned to fly. And if anybody's flown Tango Lima Alpha, don't know why. Love Tango Lima Alpha. So I am going to fly out of Camarillo, which is KCMA. The airport that was in Iron Eagle at the beginning of the movie, not the one that Doug flies out of to fly the snake, it's the one that is where the Eagles have their flying club. So I'm going to set departure on the runway. I'm going to go flight conditions. Again, I'm going to go for clear skies. And this is one thing. I wish that you could just click with the UI. Asobo, if you see this, it'd be nice to just be able to click to roughly where you need to go. Instead, we have to slide the slider. So I'm going to go afternoon because I really don't want to be having the sun in my face. And save and go back. Now this is on a clean start of the sim. So we'll go into 2D mode first. I just got a new joystick. The first one I got, again, this is like the 5th time that I bought a Logitech Extreme Pro. It's just kind of placeholder joystick until I can get the honeycomb, which I don't quite have the budget for at this point. So it's a good joystick. It's got the ability to have rudder control and stuff like that. So there's that. So as we can see,
Tower, Victor Hotel,
ready to fly.
Alpha at runway 26, ready for departure. Departing straight out.
And I don't have developer mode on at the moment. That's fine. So, and this frame rate thing isn't working. I don't know why. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I have my camera set to zoom all the way out to 0 on the settings. Let me go full screen. So as you can see, the frame rates are quite nice. Down, release the parking brake. And let me grab the joystick. So this is 2D mode. I'll go and accelerate. Whoops. There's my throttle control over there. So we have some torque. Rolling down the runway. I do love the new textures. Once we hit 53 knots, we'll rotate. I usually wait till about 55. Rotate. Whoops, that was a little bit harsh. So yeah, I'm gonna go across here. I love that Asobo has implemented a bunch of stuff that I wrote in the game design documents for Flight Simulator World. So yeah, everything is nice and smooth. I can look around here, look at the airport. I actually used to live out this way, so it's nice flying out of. Actually, it was where I last went flying out of. I was flying a Piper Arrow 3, which is close enough to the Tomahawk. Bit heavier on the controls, bit of a heavier plane, but good plane. And the flying school out there was really awesome. So looking across there, there's some of my film design work over there. I don't want to get into those details right now. Now, I don't have my throttle quadrant set up on the desk properly, so it's kind of just loosely attached. I have auto trim on it at the moment as well. So, one thing that has changed too is that the center part of the Logitech joysticks have gotten very sensitive. The first one I got kept veering to the left, which wasn't cool. So, let's pull the throttle back and do a quick circuit. Should be Chipotle down there. And again, look how beautiful this is. I mean, I didn't expect this level of performance in Sim. With a 2080 Ti and an i9-12900k, 12900k processor. So, I am quite impressed. I'm on a gigabit per second internet fiber line in at the office. So I am getting good frame rates. Those hangars, I don't know that those actually exist there. Double check. Anyway, seem to be on glide path. Not doing too bad considering I don't have VR turned on. I'm coming in way too fast. So I'm just going to kill the throttle and bleed off airspeed as I come across the threshold. I would actually be flying the numbers with a 70 knot approach in the Tomahawk, but not this time. So that completes the circuit. So you see it's nice and buttery smooth in 2D with those settings. Throttle, I don't have my brakes set up properly at the moment, so I need to do this real quick. Where is it? Brakes. Because we want to take off again and I don't want to have to reset all of the sim. Okay. Now, to pop under the hood in the Pimax 5K Super, and hopefully everything works very well. So this is going to flash for a little bit. Take a moment while Steam VR fires up. And yeah, it looks like we've got good frame rates. So, put the headset on. Now I need to click inside this because Steam VR takes up priority. So let me hit Shift. And you can't see it, but I'm getting about 32 frames per second. Where I'm at right now. So I've got the brakes off. The throttle. And I'm not sure where my audio is coming from. Ooh, I had a black frame. That's not good. I think I set up what's playing my audio properly. Right, I'm gonna rotate. Climb out here. And you'll see pretty quick. Well, you don't really see it because you don't see the NextR toolkit frame rate, but I'm getting 36 frames per second right now. If I look to the right, it should increase. It's about 37, 38. So I'll start flying out this way, out towards the bridge. Out to where I did the training flight. Last time I went up, I'm just going to turn off the iPad. So 39 frames a second. But I can look around and I'm not getting the stutters that I was getting in Flight Sim 2020 or in Fly Inside for FSX and Prepared. So it's really nice. I'm going to fly a little bit of IFR here. I follow roads. Just kidding. Just kidding. So it's a really nice experience. I mean, I'm now 45 frames a second locked, and everything is really running very, very smoothly. And I can live with this until I get a new video card. Unfortunately, all the scalpers bought the 5080 and 5090 cards within 5 minutes of release in the United States. So we need to talk to people in Congress and say, hey, you guys need to enact a law to be able to stop scalpers, because what we saw with the 4090 and everything was that scalpers would come along, they'd buy the cards, they set the prices double, and then retail followed suit and sold cards for like $1,000 more than what the retail price.
Tango Lima Alpha leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
And that just honestly wasn't cool. And it's like, I haven't been able to afford a card, but I need it for my work, for film and TV production and for flight sim. So anyway, I'm flying out here. So we have some water over fields. There seems like a lot more water mapping in Flight Sim 2024 than there was. And I know which data sets they're getting some of this stuff from. And like, this is usually a dry channel. This is usually just a floodway. So it's interesting watching that. So I'm gonna head. I don't know whether I'm even getting any audio. Hopefully I am. The elevation data in this version of the sim, I don't know whether Microsoft has developed elevation data, but it seems like it's 1 meter per pixel across the entire United States. It's really, really strange. Fog setting's quite hazy, actually, for the weather. Now, here's the thing, with this, everything's running smoothly, everything is running perfectly, and if I were to go into the menu, like into the settings and come back, the entire thing will topple. It'll drop to like less than 10 frames per second. It's unrecoverable. You go back to 2D mode and you see all these spikes in the terrain. There's definitely some bugs there, but this shows to me that the Desobo has done some really awesome work in terms of optimization, because to be able to get 45 frames a second is actually getting me way better frame rates than I was getting in Flight Sim 2020 VR. And I'm quite happy about that. So I'm going to fly back here, and I'm probably going to head over, do a flyover Van Nuys, maybe do a flyover past the Hollywood sign. But I mean, okay, it's in performance mode, so the picture's not as crisp in the headset as what it would normally be in balanced mode, but currently that's a trade-off that I can live with. Until I can get $2,000 to $3,000 to get a 5090 card, and honestly, the 5090 card is primarily for my film production work. It's like, I need at least 24 gigs to do 6K video editing with B-roll. So the joystick's working well. It's a little sensitive. I probably need to turn down sensitivity or try and adjust the null zone in the sim, but it's pretty good. I mean, you see the houses down there, what looks like it used to be a golf course, but I'm able to look around and it's nice and smooth. And quite good. So I got the fuel pump on, and I really don't need fuel pump. I really don't need pitot heat. especially for Southern California. So I'm heading back. I'm gonna go up and follow the highway. Go out past Westlake Village. Just grab my drink here. Yeah, I'm still 44 frames a second. Stuff. LAX, I have AnyBuild's LAX installed, and that can tend to drop frame rates, but I did have ground aircraft turned on last time I tried to land there. So, we'll go up this way, and I'm trying to figure out, do I land at Van Nuys or do I land at Whiteman? I'm not 100% sure. But I used to live in Southern California, and it's nice flying over the area. The skies in the sim, because I have all the live traffic turned off. It's very much like it was when I went flying last time, because I went flying during COVID, and I was one of the only human beings in the greater Los Angeles area that was flying in the sky, which was kind of a cool thought. Enjoyed that quite a lot. So hopefully my new Yeti microphone is working well. Hopefully I'm also getting ambient sound. Otherwise I'm gonna have to re-record all this video again. But hopefully I'm getting sound. Hopefully it's getting whatever the sound channel is. It's there. It should be default system sounds, so 4,000 feet. I don't know what the new key bindings are for setting the DG and the barometer, or the altimeter. So I'm not 100% sure on that. It does look like LA's been flooded with torrential rain with all these channels all totally full of water. That's quite funny. Trying to keep a lookout for, as we go over these mountains, there is the Reagan Presidential Library off to about our 11 o'clock position. 10 or 11 o'clock. But I have my hands off the controls, the aircraft's trimmed nicely. We've got a 400 foot per minute climb. In good view, everything's nice and smooth, the air is nice and smooth. The sim's running smoothly, and I can do a cross-country flight like this. Just speaking of that, let me turn fuel pump on. Pressure, switch tanks. Pressure's good, fuel pump off. And I can turn the landing light out now too, because I am out of the traffic area now. I'm not following any sort of flight rules. I'm just going completely VFR as if it is in the 1930s. Because I don't have say intentions currently, which I do want to have. That is an absolutely amazing air traffic control replacement, and you can actually use real phraseology. And I do apologize, I do have the side-by-side screen up. I did do an experiment last night on how to be able to get that, and because I've got a 4K screen, it actually looks quite decent when I bring it down to just the left eye. So, pretty cool. I haven't tested the ground deformation stuff. It'd be but I haven't got my frame rates for it. I'm doing 46 frames per second at the moment. 47. Now, if anybody has OpenXR Toolkit, what I'll do is I'll tell you what I'm seeing on each screen. So under the performance tab, I've got overlay of frames per second on. I'm probably going to turn that off now that I've got this so stable. But I've always had that on since Flight Sim 2020. Trying to optimize, trying to tweak. Target frame rate is off. Upscaling, sharpening, I've got on CAS. Sharpness 20%. Fixed foveated rendering is preset. Hull outer mask HAM is no. That's basically the black border. I don't want to turn it off because the more pixels it has to render in RGB on screen, the more GPU power it's going to take. Turbo mode experimental is off. Oh, sorry. Under fixed foveated rendering, I've got color outer mask no. Mode is quality, pattern is wide. In turbo mode, experimental is off. Frame rate throttling is off. Record statistics, no. High rate statistics, no. And then we'll go to the second page, which is appearance. And I believe I have this as stock. It's got post-processing off. World scale 100%. And I've got 62.2 millimeters for my IPD into pupillary distance. And I found an app on my iPhone that could actually do measurements for your IPD, and I sit somewhere between 62 and 63. My inputs are of prediction reduction 0%, controller emulation off. System override resolution no. Color gains 50, 50, 50 for red, green, blue. Field of view simple, simply because I'm at 100% and you can't go above that. Adjustment 100%, which is 140.3 degrees. Zoom 1.0. Blind eye none. Disable mask no. And in the main menu, I've got show expert settings yes. Font size 44. Menu timeout none. Menu distance 1 meter. Menu opacity 85%. Show clock in the overlay no. Overlay horizontal and vertical are both at 33%. Use the legacy menu, no. Restore defaults. Touching, and then I'm going to go down to the exit menu and exit the menu and keep flying. And I am still doing 45 frames per second. So, over to the left there, we probably, 9, 10 o'clock, we see the Reagan Presidential Library over there, and we are heading up towards the valley. I'm actually coming on the north side, coming into the valley of the main highway to the right, but probably gonna do. I do want to go to the right because I want to go over see the Hollywood sign, go see downtown. Back on the stick a little bit. Auto trim is not doing a very good job at the moment, so. And over at our 1 o'clock position, we can see the pass for the 405. You see the ocean off to the right. Catalina Island over there. So I'm getting a really nice screen. The Just Flight Tomahawk is really, really awesome. It is so well done. The only thing, and I know those guys have been trying to work on it, the stall warning for some reason isn't going off at the correct speed. Like the aircraft is actually starting to stall at the correct speeds, but the stall warning itself is not activating until it gets down to about 40 knots. So if there's any devs out there that know how to fix that, it would be really awesome to be able to get that 100%. But they have done such a good job with this aircraft, it's like coming home for me. To have so many hours in this plane, and she flies like the real thing. I do need to adjust the engines a little bit for them.
124, 6 Tango Lima Alpha.
for all the Tomahawks to have the most recent specs, because you know the paint is going to adjust the weight of the aircraft and performance and stuff like that. So being able to have that as the empty weight for the aircraft is something I do want to be able to put in. And I need to finish up some repaints as well. I need to hire somebody probably to do the more complicated repaint for me. But then again, other people, you know, you just don't know the quality that they're going to do. Okay, that's not the gap where the 405 is. Come around left, follow the highway around to our about 11 o'clock position. And we'll go scoot along the front side of Mount Hollywood. It's Mount Hollywood. It's where the Hollywood sign is, so unlike Hollywood Park. If anybody wants to go out to Los Angeles and wants to see the Hollywood sign close up, the best location to go see the sign is Lake Hollywood Park. It gives you the best view of the Hollywood sign. You can hike up to the sign. I've never done the hike up to the sign as yet, but yeah, the best place for actually viewing the sign clearly is Lake Hollywood Park. Last time I was there, the local residents did put up fences and stuff to be able to stop people from actually going up the road and stuff, which was really a little bit rude. I don't know whether they've taken them down again. Really heartbreaking what happened in LA with the fires recently. I won't go into that. It's not something too many people these days get political over everything, and the fact is a lot of people lost their homes, and that's not cool. You know, people have worked very, very hard their entire lives to be able to afford a place to live, and they've lost everything. So, you know, and a lot of them are good, hard-working people like you and I. So yeah, so hopefully I'm getting audio being recorded. I won't know until I play it back, until I finish making this video. So here's the thing. Do I go land at Burbank? I don't know whether I've got Burbank installed. I thought I bought it for Flight Sim 2020. Do I go land at Whiteman? Do I go past the Hollywood sign, go check things out, and then go past downtown LA, fly over Burbank, go up towards Lakeview Terrace, and then head back out to Whiteman. I'll probably do that because there'll be better frame rates. I'm still at 44 frames a second at the moment, which is really nice. I'm about 7,000 feet, which I've never been up that high in a Tomahawk before. Did go up in a Mooney. A friend of mine was looking at buying a Mooney years ago, and we flew out of Pompano, and that thing was a rocket. That was so fast, such a beautiful plane, very, very fast. It was awesome. But my friend ended up buying a Vans RV7A, which is also quite a fast little plane. It was more in line with his kind of skill level and stuff as a pilot. So yeah, so after our ride is all the area that got burned, the ocean side of the hills. So I'm just glad where my old home was that that's still intact. I'm so glad that there's a certain house in Altadena that thankfully didn't burn. The house next door burned down, but it actually managed to survive. So yeah. So I'm just enjoying the view up here right now. I mean, there's stuff like the vegetation and the aircraft and cars and boat vessels and all of that is just spending my time up here flying, and many previous sims didn't really have huge amounts of air traffic, so I'd love to be able to turn it back on. Probably flying up at this altitude is probably fine, especially if I go cross country. But landing at a large airport like LAX, it stresses out the GPU, and I don't know whether there's a memory leak or what the story is there, but the headset just starts flashing black and back to picture and very low frame rates and stuff like that. So I'd rather just avoid that for now and enjoy what is working. And I am on the latest beta as well, so sticking with that. So over at our 10 o'clock position, we have Hanson Dam. So that's kind of cool. Where is Hanson Dam? Where is it? It's a little close, because 15. No, that's not Hanson Dam. Hanson Dam's over more at 11 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock is what Hanson Dam is. Not sure what that body of water is over there at 10 o'clock. So this is nice, man. We're at 7,000 feet. We've got a great view of Los Angeles County. Can see Marina Del Rey down there, LAX over there. We should start descending in a little bit. There's the 405. Yeah, anybody that's lived in LA, it's like, you know the 405. Probably the reason why my trim wasn't working very well was I actually set the middle lever on my throttle control. Oops. I can't go into the menu to fix this at the moment. I meant to fix that. I set that as my trim. So the things are reversed at the moment, so that's kind of funny. Looks like Century City down there. Cruise descent. Just keep an eye on my airspeed. And just down at 10 o'clock, we see our Van Nuys Airport. Pretty cool. And again, I don't think I've got the Orbix one installed. Oh, I did buy it. Make sure I have all of the airports that I purchased installed. So see the 405 going through the mountains there from the valley into greater Los Angeles. And we are descending. That looks like Lake Hollywood Park directly at our 12 o'clock position. So what we're going to do, we're going to descend, go past the Hollywood sign, go past Griffith Observatory, and then we will hook around and head back north over Flight Burbank. Over about 9:30. So the nice thing is, like, all the stuff I have been developing with photo scenery and stuff, Flights of 10 and Lockheed Martin prepared, Air 3D, has been implemented in this version of the sim. And the stuff that I wrote in the game design documents, like the 3D vegetation stuff, the grasses, the plants, the rocks, and all that stuff, those are in the game design documents that I wrote for Flight Simulator, Flight School. Nice to see those things implemented into the simulator, which is cool. So we're on a cruise descent. Don't want to put any abrupt movements in the controls, but we're descending nicely towards Lake Hollywood Park and just start to make out the Hollywood sign on the hill over there. Right, maybe. I think it's downtown LA at my 12 o'clock. Yeah. So. Very, very slight stutter there. Part of the reason why I'm probably not getting stutters as well is because I have Flight Sim installed on a 7 GB per second NVMe drive, which is NVMe drive from Fire CUDA 510, I believe it is. So we have Universal Studios just down there. As we're descending towards Hollywood sign. And no, I will not start singing Hooray for Hollywood. How's that trim doing? Still quite high, aren't I? Get the nose down a little bit. Here's downtown LA. Let's try and get a little bit closer to Hollywood Hills without going over V&E to fall back a little bit. So this actually feels quite nice. This is the first time I've actually flown out this way in 2024, so it's looking very good. 4,000 feet roughly. It is nice in Flight Sim 2024, the obstacles like the towers. I've seen cell phone towers and stuff before. Is that like Hollywood Park? I think it's like Hollywood Park. It looks about right. I think I'm in the right spot. Yeah, there's a Hollywood sign right there at 10:30. Swing around towards it. And we'll head out to Griffith Observatory next. Fly over Burbank. A little bit of a glitch. That's the first time I've seen that in the last 24 hours. I think some scenery just loaded in or something. And it's probably because I'm recording video. So there's a Hollywood sign. Oh, there's a tree in the middle of a Hollywood sign. Gonna have to fix that. It'd be nice to have a custom 3D model. So that's not perfect with the photogrammetry, but too bad. I am getting some visual glitches, which is so great. My frame rate's dropped 33. Some of these trees look a little bit on the large side. Back up. It may be the downtown area of LA that's causing the frame rate hit at the moment. Observatory. Which isn't the custom 3D model that was there previously in Flight Sim 2020, so that's a little disappointing. Should we try and attempt to go downtown? That's where the whole sim is going to go. Start becoming a stutter fest. Let's have a look. I don't have any aircraft or vehicle traffic, so excuse me. road traffic or boats or anything like that. So it hopefully should stay close to its 40 frames a second. Not sure what that slowdown was over the Hollywood Hills. So see, I'll see if I can fly over downtown and then, or at least skirt downtown, head over to Dodger Stadium and then start heading up through Burbank. But, I mean, this is quite a pleasant flight. I mean, LA has always been a city that has been tough on frame rates in the simulator historically, whether it's Flight Sim 2000, Flight Sim 4, Flight Sim 5. Every version has been very, very hard on frame rates because LAX is such a big international airport. So, vegetation kicking in. Tempted to go around and loop around to have a look at downtown, but I'm just going to go fly in between these buildings here. Not something that you'd want to do in real life, that's for sure. It's amazing to me that downtown LA has fewer tall buildings than Brisbane City, it seems. Like, Brisbane City has a lot more, seems to have a lot more taller buildings. Interesting to see them in a size comparison. Ever really went into downtown LA? I know there's bad neighborhoods like Skid Row and stuff. Not too badly modeled. Alright, now I am on the lookout for Stadium, which over this way. Looking at those channels and stuff down there, I had to laugh during the movie The Core, which I only really watched for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and there's a whole space shuttle scene and they land in the channel and stuff, and it's like, you guys could have easily diverted to Edwards Air Force Base, you know. It's a little hop, skip, and a jump over to the mountain ranges there, and you're right there. So, I hate to say it, I've lived in Los Angeles, and been out to Dodger Stadium. I've flown over it many times in the sim, and I am disoriented. So, I have eyes on it. That's fine. Up, heading towards Burbank. I miss Los Angeles. You know, for such a big city, it just feels so much like hunting. Oh, there's Dodger Stadium. I knew I was close. Duh. I just can see it from all the trees. I saw the very first ever game between the LA Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies back in 1993. It was very cool. I still have the pin on that. So as we start to come around towards Burbank, hopefully we should overfly if I get my position lined up. We should overfly Warner Brothers Studios, New York Film Academy, and Kappa Studios. It'd be very tempting to try and overfly the main house from ET, but is that part of that? That may be part of Pasadena. Lost my bearings. So used to driving LA that flying over, I've lost my bearings. I've been out of the country for a couple of years. Burbank's up ahead at 11 o'clock. I think that's downtown Pasadena. Should go see Doc Brown's mansion. I could also fly out to where Marty McFly's house is. One thing I have noticed with the mountains is that they are, they can look very triangular as the level of detail pops in. That may have to do with the dynamic switching with stuff to keep the frame rates up. But yeah, Asobo has done a good job with VR. It's just a matter of them getting it stable now. So like, if I can get these type of frame rates with other aircraft on the 2080 Ti and the 12900k, I'll be a happy camper until I get a new video card. Trying to come off to my right a little bit. See what the sound stage is once we get back there. And over there you should see Kappa Studios. It's quite a distance away though, so there's a good crumble cookie right near their offices too, so just down on our left here. See what this says, buildings. Warner Brothers. Tank, so oh, that's a pool. Just gonna circle over it while I can. Bearings. Glitch, 21 frames per second. There's an IKEA. Well, if I had a helicopter, I could probably go down and actually find the stages and stuff. And I'm in the neighborhood. that later. Just gonna head past Burbank Airport. Just here. I didn't realize that runway was pointed right at the mountain. Interesting. Head back up towards the 210 and then we'll try and fly up to Whiteman. Looks like that's a stock airport. Upgraded one. I love that the aerial imagery and the earth, like the piles of dirt down there, actually match up 100%. That's so critical because you can have aerial imagery from one year and then elevation data from another year, and it doesn't match like that. Those are perfectly aligned. The aerial imagery is, you know, as earthworks and stuff gets moved. I have never been out here before in person. But there is this space over here. Those are the towers that you saw in the movie The Net. This plane goes into those stacks. Very disturbing part of that movie. As the pilot would tell you. This is interesting. This looks like it's been excavated over the years. It's kind of cool. So yeah, this is the beauty of Flight Sim 2024. I mean, look at those ridges of dirt there, and they're properly modeled and everything. People are all like, oh, you know, it's Flight Sim 2024 is terrible, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know, you gotta optimize. And you gotta get it set for that. And, when you find the sweet spot, that's when you can start enjoying it. And so, I'm at 12900k with a 2080 Ti, and I'm having fun flying, looking around. Okay, I may not be able to jump into an airliner and go blasting off at best frame rates, but I can fly around in a Tomahawk, enjoy the scenery. I remember this stuff. I don't remember flights from 2020. So now I am trying to find my way to the 210 so I can get out to Whiteman. So I figure if I head up towards the 210, should be the 101 over there. Sorry, I gotta look at this. These buildings? Yeah. It's closed again, so I just gotta have to reset. I think back to Flight Sim 1 and how it was green with a couple white lines for roads. Everything. That looks like Whiteman over there. So I'm just gonna head out. What's that? Still 41 frames a second. Why is my nose diving? Seriously. Where's my control? Go on. Be better off flying with just the trim assist. Start bringing back the airspeed. I'm not going to bother about flaps right now because I don't have them set up properly. RPM. 1,500. 1,700. Is that Whiteman over there? What's the interchange? I don't know that that is Whiteman. I'm on the wrong side of the highway. Yeah, Whiteman is next to the highway. That pretty sure is the. Where's the? So that's the 405. Now Whiteman in relation, I believe. What the highway is on. I am so disoriented. I don't think it crossed over the 405. I'll go this way. Should be around Target there. Okay, so that should be the 101. Should be. Oh wait, this Hanson Dam. I believe it. I actually used to live out in this area. There's the airport. Let's see if we can attempt a low-level circuit. Come on, trim. So sloppy because I've got the controls so far away from me. And it was actually near this neighborhood that the let's widen my circuit a little bit. The Terminator 2 bar used to be at. It's been bulldozed now. It's now a sports center. Check out this. I feel like getting out and actually walking around in this. 40 frames a second. I'm gonna do a very tight turn to final. See if I can get my hands on the mouse to get a full flap. So I'm looking away. And you're gonna have to side slip in. Where's my throttle control? Kill the throttle. Side slip to get a bunch of altitude. Start to straighten up and align. Throttle is at idle, keeping the airspeed. Stutter. In line with the taxiway. The center line. Sorry. And I'm gonna have to use a hand parking brake temporarily to slow down. Get off the taxiway. Let's go over near the fuel over here. Let's kill the mixture so that we can slow down. And let's say our hangar is going to be over here. I would normally put flaps up. Parking brake on. Cabin unlock. Door unlock. Open the little hatch. Open the door.